Folks, don't click ahead. There's some very important information in this intro. First, this video and all of the odds displayed in this are brought to you by Cloudbet. You can click the link in the description and use promo code 138MMA to support the channel. In addition to that, you'll be supporting yourself. You get access to some really nice rewards, a very nice welcome package, and it's fantastic for you. Now, for the important information that you're going to need, outside of that first bit of important information where you can help yourself, this breakdown will have all of the fights except for the 2 Ultimate Fighter finale fights. Those will be broken down for the first time on my channel anyway, this Thursday on the panel show. Me, the Couch Warrior, and a couple of guests. We're doing that. There's 2 reasons. One of the fights hasn't aired yet to announce the final. I know it's already out there, but not everybody wants spoilers. So there's that. I just wanted to put both of them on that card. I could do one, but whatever. We're putting both of them on the Thursday breakdown show, okay? So both of the Ultimate Fighter ones are there, so I don't want to see a bunch of comments asking me about where those fights are. I'm not going to be responding to them. Also, I'm recording this on Monday, early morning Monday, so any odds I mentioned could be changed by the time you see this. Channel members are going to get this Monday afternoon. Everybody else will get this Tuesday as soon as the Contender Series wraps up. So as soon as we're done with the Contender Series, my wife and I are going to be doing a fight companion for the Contender Series. Tune into that. I guess at this point, if you're not a channel member, you didn't see this before then, but whatever. So as soon as that's done, this will be made public. So channel members can see it before then. But if you are wondering why the odds are different, that's why. Lastly, Wednesday, Pick'em and I are going live for the PFL breakdown. Wednesday is the plan. I don't have a time yet, but Wednesday. So jam-packed week, tons of fights, tons of fight content, and that's pretty much the information. So anyway, reminder, use promo code 138MMA, check the link in the description, and I'll see you guys in the rematch here in the women's 125-pound division. Karine Silva takes on Dione Barbosa. Both of these ladies are 4-1 in their last 5 fights, and they match up pretty well as far as skill for skill. Let's break them down. For Dione Barbosa, she's a good striker with a quick 1-2. She's got pretty good power in the hands, but she is much better as a grappler than a striker. She's a solid grappler with really good timing on her takedowns, really good trips, and her top control is probably the best part of her game, especially in this matchup. She does have a slick armbar as well. There's a lot to like about Barbosa. On the other side, for Karine Silva, she's a good striker and typically has pretty tight defense, especially early in a fight. Good power, and she'll strike in bursts. She'll come at you with a flurry and then reset when she needs to there. She's a solid grappler as well, and she will just drag her opponents to the mat. She'll get a hold of them, and instead of just, your traditional takedowns, which sure she can do those, but a lot of times she's just ripping you down because it's what she does. That's how she gets you to the fight, or get the fight to the mat. She'll attack submissions, and she's got very nasty ground and pound to help open those submissions up or just get the finish that way. Honestly, these two, like I said, have fought before. Barbosa got the win, and now over on Cloudbet, you're getting Barbosa at plus 171. I think that's a no-brainer. Girl already beat her once. Both are 4-1 in their last 5. We saw Silva gas out bad against Viviani. I think the side for me has to be Barbosa. I think she's got a lot of advantages here where she needs them, and I think I'm going to take her to get this one done. But let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next middleweight matchup here. Bryan Battle moves back up to middleweight after a stint at welterweight. He is 4-0 and a no contest in his last 5 fights, and he's taking on Nursulton Ruziboev, who also had a brief stint at welterweight that did not go well at all for him when he fought Joaquin Buckley. That's his only loss in his last 5, being 4-1 in that last 5. He's back up at middleweight, so both of these guys in the weight class they probably should be, but both of them have been down to welterweight in the past, which is interesting considering they're both fairly big guys. When we look at this matchup here, Bryan Battle, he's a solid striker with good volume. He's got good combinations, and he puts his punches and kicks together extremely well. He's got a nasty head kick. His striking defense leaves a lot to be desired, but the dude's durable. Like, he just eats whatever. And I think there's something to be said for the fact that I don't know what it is, but like former fat guys always have really good cardio and really good durability. And Bryan Battle's a former fat guy. You just see it. Like, the dude's got great cardio and great durability. Cardio, like I said. So it's a thing. I don't know what it is, but it's a thing. Grappling. Good grappler as well. He's got a slick choke arsenal, and he's very quick to attack the chokes, whether it be defensively or as he looks for his own stuff offensively. He doesn't use the grappling offensively super often, but he has in the past, and he has made it work for him. Good scrambles. Cage push is something he's really been doing a lot lately and doing really well with his dirty boxing, mixing in knees as well. But up against the cage, he's been getting a lot of stuff done there and causing some serious damage to people, especially if you remember that Kevin Jousset fight. oh my, he was brutalizing that man up against the cage. So Battle's looked really good with that cage push as of late. So mixing his striking and his grappling together up against cage. On the other side, for Ruziboev, he's a good striker as well. He's got long straights. Even though his arms aren't super long, he's such a tall guy. Like, his arms are long because he's tall, but like for his height, his wingspan isn't what you'd expect it to be. He's got good volume, good power, but he will back up with his hands down low when he's trying to get out of the range. It's tall guy defense, right? It's a thing that people do when you're that tall. So that's something I don't really like for him, but he's good otherwise. Good grappling. He will seek the submissions. He, unlike Battle going for the chokes, Ruziboev is more of an armed attack kind of guy. He goes for arm bars and kimuras, specifically the kimura. Those aren't super high percentage at the UFC level, but he also can use them for sweeps because his sweeps are pretty good. And a lot of times if you get that kimura grip, you can use that as a sweep. He will work to advanced position. He's got good ground and pound to set up his submissions. His problem, though, is his takedown defense isn't great and his top control is not great. So even though he's good in the grappling, he lacks in a couple of areas that are a lot of like positional type things. Like, obviously takedown defense, you get out of position, you get taken down, and then top control. If you're not able to put a lot of pressure down on the guy and control, wrap him up, that's where he struggles there. So that a couple of things that for Ruziboev that aren't as good, but grappling is probably going to be a better path for him here than striking with Bryan Battle. Honestly, for me, minus 159 on cloud bet for Bryan Battle is a gem. So we're taking him. Bryan Battle gets this one done. That is my belief. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you in the next one. Super interesting fight here with a lot of layers to it. Edson Barboza goes back up to lightweight to fight Drakkar Klose. Now, Barboza has spent a little bit of time down at featherweight. Recently, he's now back up at lightweight for this one. He's 2-3 in his last 5, but he's been fighting some of the best in the division down at 145. Drakkar Klose 4-1 in his last 5. Level of competition hasn't been anywhere near what Barboza has been fighting. Now, for Drakkar Klose, he is a good striker. He's accurate, got good volume, good combinations, and he's a good grappler with really good takedown defense. Takedowns are solid. Submission defense is pretty good. Decent top control, but the cage push, that's probably his best path to victory in this fight if he does get that going, because taking down Barboza isn't easy. Striking with Barboza is a really stupid idea, but if you push him up against the cage, you can just do a really boring decision. It's just, can he do that? That's the thing. On the other side, for Edson Barboza, if this stays at striking range, this dude's a solid striker, and he's going to be the better striker between the two. Now, sure, anybody can get cracked. There is that, but the dude's got power. He's got solid combinations, excellent kicks, and those knees are devastating. So realistically, Barboza is the far better striker but not because like Klose is a bad striker. I don't want to put it that way. I just think Barboza is a beautiful striker. However, his grappling, it's good defensively, right? He's got pretty good takedown defense, and he's got decent top control if you let him get on top of you. But it's not his skill set, right? He's a striker. So I go back and forth on this one. And I think I have to side in a close fight. Every time. That's a stupid, stop making that stupid joke. I'm going to have to take Drakkar Klose because you can get him at plus 129 over on CloudBet. And I think if you're going to give me him at dog money in a fight where I think he can cage push his way to a boring decision, I'm going to take him. That's what I'm thinking. I think he cage pushes his way to a boring decision. Drakkar Klose takes it, but it's a close fight. Damn it, I did it again. Either way, let me know what you guys think. Lightweights on this card. We have another one here. Alexander Hernandez takes on Chase Hooper. Hooper's 5-0 in his last 5, 3-2 for Hernandez. Depends who you ask, I guess, but the judges gave him 3-2. So anyway, for Chase Hooper, decent striking. Dude's been coming along. Decent power. He's got a pretty good front kick now and a good 1-2. That's kind of all you need when your grappling is as good as Chase Hooper's, because the dude is a solid grappler. He's very active from his back, uses his length really well, and he can take the back from anywhere. Whether he pulls you into his guard or he gets the takedown, he can just climb around you and just take your back no matter where he's at. He attacks submissions. He's got vicious ground and pound, good transitions, decent takedowns even. He had bad takedowns up until fairly recently. He's starting to really come into his own with that. Takedown defense isn't any good, but I don't think he cares. In fact, that's almost a plus when you're talking Chase Hooper, because the dude just gets taken down and then crawls around to your back. It's what he does. On the other side, Alexander Hernandez is a guy who's been very inconsistent and shown cardio issues in the past. It's not something you like to see, but he is a decent striker with good movement, good enough forward pressure, and some decent power. In the grappling, he's pretty good as well, right? He's got decent takedowns, good top pressure, and good takedown defense. He's going to need this a lot in this fight. And at minus 306 for Chase Hooper, that line is nowhere near wide enough. Chase Hooper he's the side. Check out CloudBet, promo code 138MMA when you get that minus 306. yeah, Chase Hooper all day. That line is nowhere near wide enough. Put a 1 in front of it. So you got a matchup at 115 pounds between Jessica Andrade and Lupita Godinez. Now, a little peek behind the curtain. I've recorded the rest of this video already, and I'm doing this one last. And the reason why is because I didn't have a prediction until right before I had to record this. And the only reason I have a prediction now is because I have to pick someone and because I have to record this video. This is a close fight, and I'm not going to tell you that either side is a lock or anything like that. Nowhere near. This is a very, very close fight. So pay attention when I tell you what it is, and hopefully you can come up with your own decision. And my pick, like usual, like always, is for entertainment purposes. But definitely do your research. This is a hard one to predict. When we look at these, for Jessica Andrade, she's 2-3 in her last 5 fights. She's taken on Lupita Godinez, who's 3-2. Right there, already close 5 on in. When we look at these two, Lupita Godinez, there's a lot to like about Godinez. She's got good striking, good forward pressure, a lot of volume, especially with the 1-2s. She just comes forward with those 1-2s a lot. Just boom, 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 boom. She can start mixing in combinations and things like that, but a lot of 1-2s. She's a good grappler. She's got a really good cage push. She's got good takedowns against the cage, and she's got pretty good control. However, her fight IQ is the thing that we just don't get. Now, she looked really good in her last fight up until she had to take a poop. That happens. I get it. But literally, that's what it was. Like in between rounds, between second and third round, she's like, look, I really got to go. She told her corner that. And she didn't look good in the third round. And everybody's like, what the heck happened to Loopy? She's looking great before this. You got to go. You got to go. The fact she made it through was impressive. So good for her. But still, in past fights, fight IQ is a thing. So I don't know. It's hard. But with Jessica Andrade, good striker, right? She's got good forward pressure, tons of power, and she keeps her power late. She's got really good volumes. She does sometimes leave herself wide open to be countered, and that could be a problem for her. Decent grappling, good ground and pound, and she's a slammer. She'll pick you up, drop you on your noggin. We've seen that before. Obviously, the Rose Namajunas fight is the most famous one for that, but also in other fights, she's picked people up and slammed them down. She's a very fast starter. She'll get going quick, and she keeps that from there. She just goes, right? It's a close fight. The line is close. I can't make a pick based on the line in this one for me. I think the line could flip any day. So like at any point, whoever you're getting at plus money, if you have to bet this, is probably the betting side. But the line's going to go back and forth, I think. This is going to be very close. I wouldn't be surprised if it's minus 110 a piece at the end. I will not be betting this fight. There's no chance. 0 chance I'm betting this fight. This is a stay away entirely. So the minus 150 over on Cloudbet for Lupita Godinez isn't the reason I'm picking this fight. I am going to pick Lupita Godinez because I do think if somehow she fights to the right game plan, she should be able to get the win. That said, I don't feel confident in that at all. Least confident pick on the card by a mile. But let me know what you guys think. I'd love to hear from you. Next, Gerald Meerschaert takes on Michal Oleksiejczuk. Both of these guys are 2-3 in their last 5. Couple of veterans who are kind of, they're getting some tough matchups lately. But here we are. So both guys, like I said, 2-3. Let's start on the Oleksiejczuk side. Good striker, the better striker of the two in this matchup for sure. He's got good forward pressure, good power, and he works the body pretty well. This is where he wants to keep the fight. Sure, he's got decent enough grappling offensively. He can mix in takedowns, but he's reluctant to do so. Rightfully so, especially in this fight. His takedown defense hasn't been the best, and we've seen him sub plenty of times. So it's not like Oleksiejczuk can't grapple, but that's not the place he wants this. He needs this on the feet. He's the better striker. On the other side, Gerald Meerschaert, it's not like he can't strike. It's just not very good, right? He's decent. Uses his length really well. He does have long arms. He's got a decent jab and some basic boxing combinations that are kind of coming along. But realistically, on the feet, he's losing this fight. However, in the grappling, dude's a solid grappler. He could sub just about anybody. I mean, we saw this guy competitive with RDR on the mat, and that's impressive because that dude looked fantastic. So here we go. So Meerschaert, super good sub arsenal. He's very opportunistic with his submission attempts. He's active from his back, but he is willing to work from there. His takedowns haven't been the best. That's a problem for him. But if he can get this fight to the mat, I think he can win. And on Cloudbet, you got Gerald Meerschaert at plus 191. So guess what? We're riding with GM3 here. I think he probably gets a sub at some point. That's what we're going to shoot for. And I'm taking Gerald Meerschaert. Let me know what you guys think. Weights in this one. King Green takes on Diego Ferreira. Ferreira and Green are both 2-3 in their last 5 fights. A couple of guys who are, towards the end of their careers, right? They've been around a long time, but both of them still seem to have the ability to get it done, just depending on the level of competition, obviously. So in this one here, it's interesting. If you're going MMA math, obviously you'd have to take King Green because he beat Grant Dawson. Grant Dawson beat Diego Ferreira, but that's not how MMA works. So let's break these guys down, right? For Diego Ferreira, he's a pretty good striker. He's got plenty of power. Dude can crack, and he's got good volume. Pretty tough guy as well. His grappling, though, this is where he needs to get this fight to get it done. Not needs, but most likely wants to get this fight to get it done. He's active from the bottom, active from his back, decent takedowns. He's got really good scrambles. But if he gets on your back, this dude's back takes are solid, and I think that's where he wants to get this fight so he can get the fight to his realm and win that way. That's what Diego wants, is back take. On the other side, for King Green, he wants to keep this on the feet. His grappling's pretty good because he's got good scrambles and a good sprawl. But on the mat, I don't think he has the skills to keep up with Ferreira. With that said, on the feet, his boxing specifically is pretty gosh darn good. Even at this point in his career where we've seen him take some serious damage recently, specifically. But I think he still has enough in the tank to be the better boxer here. He's got good head movement, good shoulder roll, good volume. Punches come from really odd angles, but he does keep his hands low, and he does seem to have trouble seeing left hands coming. That, for whatever reason, the left hands coming like that do seem to get through. I don't know what it is, but that's something he's been getting caught with a lot more lately. Even in fights he's winning, he's getting caught more with those left hands. So that's something to take note of. With that said, to make things make a little more sense here, King Green has taken a lot of damage lately, like a lot of damage lately. And I see you right in your comment again. It's not his age, it's the damage. Dude's taken a ton of damage, like late stoppages, multiple times. The Pimblett fight where the dude gets his arms like pulled the opposite way while he's already asleep. Jalen Turner fight where, I mean, come on, that was brutal. Like there's been plenty, right? So I'm talking the damage. Both these guys are on the later stage as far as age. I think Diego can get him to the ground, and I think on the feet, the dude hits hard. So I could see him winning there as well. I just see more options for him, and at minus 167, I think the line makes a little bit of sense. I might just stay away. Just, minus 167 on Cloud Bet. I'm gonna take Diego Ferreira, but it's a close fight for me. This one might just be a watch and see, and hope neither guy gets hurt too bad. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you in the next. Up next, Tim Elliott makes his return after darn near 2 years away. He takes on Kai Asakura in his sophomore outing. Both of these guys are 3-2 in the last 5 fights. In this one here, we have Kai Asakura, who stepped in against the champion, Alessandro Pantoja, in his debut, which is a tall order for anyone, to be honest. And a lot of people are down on Asakura after that performance. Like, oh, this guy sucks, whatever. He fought the champion in his debut. If that's your opinion, you're not the sharpest tool, are you? Now, I understand he did not look great in that fight. He had a couple of moments on the feet. He did not look great in that fight. Yeah, he fought the champion in his debut. That's all I got to say. So for Kai Asakura, I do think he's a solid striker. His knees, be that the step-in or the flying variety, are very good tools, and I think those are excellent tools in this matchup specifically. He's got good combinations, good volume. He feints really well and closes distance really well. Kicks to all levels, plenty of power. He's durable, and he recovers quick. There's a lot to like about the striking of Asakura, specifically those knees. In this fight against a guy like Tim Elliott, that's something that you want to use. And also the fact that he's going to feint a lot and keep Elliott guessing a bit. Good grappling as well. He's good scrambles. Obviously, he got out-grappled by Pantoja, but who isn't? Who isn't? Good grappling, good scrambles, good throws, good back taker. Ground and pounds there. He'll use submissions for defense a lot of the time. He's not really going for the submission to get the finish, but a lot of times it'll create space so he can scramble. But he can be controlled by really good grapplers. And although Tim Elliott is a good grappler, he's not super positional. A lot of times he's attacking finishes and submissions. So I don't know that he gets controlled here, but if Elliott decides, you know what, at this point in my career, I'm just going to try to lay and pray this guy, he might be able to do it because he does have the skill to do it. It's just sometimes he gets a little bit too aggressive on the submissions. We'll cover that more in a minute. But the killer instinct of Kai Asakura is very, very good. So there's a lot to like here. On the other side, there's a lot to like about Tim Elliott. He's the kind of guy that could win against just about anybody in the division on any given night, but also lose to most people in the division on any given night for one reason or another. His 20-13 record shows that. I mean, the guy has a very interesting career. Right now, I understand he's not like the type of fighter that's losing to like total cans or anything, but it's similar to how I said about like Michael Johnson, right? A few weeks back, where he could beat anybody on any night, but also lose to most people in the division. So that's something to consider when you look at Tim Elliott. And like I said, he hasn't fought in almost 2 years. Decent striker, decent forward pressure, good volume, and he's very unorthodox, so that kind of makes him hard to predict on the feet. But he should be completely outclassed as far as strike for strike. On the ground, he's the better fighter here for sure. He's got solid grappling with very good takedown volume. He shoots a ton of takedowns, good scrambles, and his pace is excellent. In the grappling, he's going to be the more skilled grappler most of the time. He attacks submissions really well, but he is submission over position, like I said. And the dude just straight up cheats, which is a good base for MMA. I mean, we saw CLD do that in the card last week. Now, I know, I'm probably salty because I do like Eric Anders, but in the first minute of the fight, you poke the guy in the eye and then kick him in the beans. I mean, come on, man. Like, it's a great way to get an advantage. You're going to see stuff like that from Elliott. Like, he's going to grab the gloves. He's going to poke in the eyes. He's going to, pull your hair, fish hook you, whatever he's got to do. Dude doesn't care. He's going to try to get the win no matter what it takes. And you can admire that at times. But there is something to be said for the fact that we saw it last card. Referees can now just take a point without stopping the action. That's something that could definitely happen to a guy like Tim Elliott here. I could see him doing some things that get him in trouble, and it's like normal where you could, say, oh, the ref doesn't want to stop the action. Now, we saw that in the main event last week where they took a point from Dolidze, which, I mean, at that point it was kind of moot, but either way, they took a point from Dolidze without stopping the action, just 1 point. That was it. So that's something we could see here with Tim Elliott with the way he fights. For me, ultimately, at minus 297, I understand the line is steep going against a grizzled veteran like Elliott. I think at minus 297 over on CloudBet, Kai Asakura is the side. I think he's the better striker, and I think he can grapple well enough to keep up. I just feel like this guy hits so gosh darn hard and is gonna rock Elliott at times and look good. Whether it's a decision or a finish, that is hard to say, but I do think he's gonna be able to land some hard shots and get the win. So Kai Asakura is my pick. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you. Middleweights here. We've got Jared Cannonier taking on Michael Page. Both of these guys are 3-2 in the last 5. Did you hear how hard that was for me to resist saying Venom in the middle? Why is that? Why that? It's like you don't have, like, and everybody else, their like nickname or whatever, you don't have to throw that in every single time. But for whatever reason with Page, that's what you do. I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, but let's break this down. 3-2 in the last 5 for both of these guys. For MVP, solid striker with nasty kicks to all levels and off of either leg. He's got very quick speed, even for a guy who's later in his career. Usually you see people kind of slow just a smidge. Dude's still fast. He's got good movement, darts in and out really well. His punches come from odd angles, especially because his hands are down here and he's kind of just doing that like karate bounce type of deal. So it makes those kind of strange. Good counter strikes, makes his opponents extremely low volume because he's so hard to get a read on. He's so hard to close distance on. He's so hard to hit. He's just extremely tough to find your range. So he makes his opponents not do anything. An MVP fight, usually you see both guys throwing very, very low volume. And I think we're going to get that here as well. No matter who wins, I think it's going to be low volume. He does have his hands low, but I don't really think it's much of a detriment. He uses it for his takedown defense, as well as making those punches come from weird angles. He does have good head movement, but it's something you got to bring up is that the hands are low. He's got good takedown defense. He uses his movement extremely well to stop, but also traditional takedown defense as well. The guy's pretty hard to control on the mat. Some people have been able to do it, not very many. In addition to that, Jared Cannonier is a solid striker with plenty of power. He's got a good leg kick, good striking defense as well. Neither of these guys get hit clean a ton. He's very patient, but he also has the ability to put out big numbers. In fact, I believe he holds the middleweight record for volume in a fight. But yeah, he can also put out big numbers, so it kind of depends. I think in this fight, he's going to be stuck being patient because it's an MVP fight. You just can't really find that range, like I was saying. Decent grappling. He doesn't offensively wrestle a ton, but if he does, I think he can maybe mix it in just to keep MVP guessing. I just don't think he's going to have a ton of success getting the fight to the mat. His takedown defense is, but I don't think that matters here. He's very quick to get up, and he's got good submission defense. We're just breezing right through that. This is probably a striking matchup where Cannonier maybe tries to mix in a couple of takedowns here and there. If you're going to give me MVP in a striking matchup at what, minus 183 or something like that, minus 189, something like that. Yeah, I think he's a side for this one. But, that's tricky. Jared Cannonier is very good. Jared Cannonier beats a lot of really good guys. I'm still gonna side with MVP, very, very slightly. But yeah, this was another kind of just watch it and see fight, crack a root beer, whatever you want to do. Let me know what you think, though. I'm very interested in your opinion on this fight specifically. Welterweight banger here between a couple of really solid strikers. Geoff Neal takes on Carlos Prates. Prates 4-1 in his last 5, 3-2 for Neal. These guys are both just absolutely devastating strikers, and I love to see it. For Prates, he's a solid striker with good power. He's got really long straights and kicks to all levels. He likes to stick that front kick or teep to the body, whereas he puts the roundhouse kick to the legs and the head. He picks his shots extremely well. Now, sometimes that can result in low volume. Sometimes he tries to get a little too precise. However, other times not so much. When he's ready to go, the dude starts letting it loose. But sometimes is all I'm saying. Does keep his hands kind of low, and I think a lot of that's for his takedown defense. And he knows that he's got pretty good ability to stay out of the range of shots. Good takedown defense as well. I think we're getting a striking fight, so there's that. On the other side, for Geoff Neal, solid striker as well. Good power, probably going to be the one throwing more volume most of the time. He's got good counters, good combinations, very fast hands, and a very sneaky head kick. He's also got solid takedown defense. So again, we're probably striking. This is a fight where either guy could win. And I think both guys have the ability to knock out the other guy, and both guys have the ability to win a decision. This is a really good fight, a really close fight. And although over on Cloudbet you can get minus 279 for Prates, which I think is a bit wide, I still am going to take him for the pick. But as far as betting, man, I'm just going to crack a root beer and watch this one here. That's all I see here. This is a fun fight, a striker's delight. I like to see it. I'm going to take Prates, but like I said, that line's just a smidge wide for me to get there. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you in the featherweight matchup here between the undefeated Lerone Murphy, 5-0 in his last 5. He does have that one draw, but otherwise 16-0 on the career. He takes on the debuting Aaron Pico. That's a tough order in your debut. Guys, 4-1 in his last 5. Aaron Pico is a very good prospect. But taking on an undefeated 16-0 fighter in your debut, the UFC isn't doing him a ton of favors here. I believe they originally had him set to face Movsar Evloev, so they were just dead set on finding an undefeated fighter for Pico, which is interesting. But anyway, in this one here, for Aaron Pico, dude's a solid striker, right? The guy can hit hard. He's got good forward pressure, plenty of accuracy. He works the body really well, and he's got really good head movement. The only thing that I see being a problem for him is sometimes he starts looking for that power shot a little bit too much and gets sucked into this like single shot, just big power shot style. Not all the time, but sometimes. And when he starts throwing just a lot of single shots looking for the knockout, that's where he can lose on volume. But otherwise, dude's a solid striker. He's a good grappler as well. His wrestling is there. He's got good takedowns and a really solid double leg. Takedown defense, solid as well. Good ground and pound and good top pressure. I think if he goes to the wrestling early and often, I think mixing that in is going to open up the hands as well. That's a really good path for Pico in this fight. On the other side, Lerone Murphy, solid striker as well. He's got good counters, decent power. I don't think he hits as hard as Pico, but he has decent power. Good hand speed, puts together combinations. He's got a nice jab, and also his striking defense is pretty solid. I think he can use that defense, counter strike, and do well on the feet. It's just, can he stop the takedowns? He has been taken down quite a bit in the past, but it's not something that you see him just give up minutes on the ground. He's a good grappler with the ability to mix in takedowns in his striking exchanges. He'll come in with a combination, and the next thing you know, he's taking you down. So that's a good thing to see. Decent top control, and he also reverses his position well. Sometimes people will shoot in on him, get the takedown immediately, but he'll continue through with that position and end up on top. This is a really good fight. I think it's a super fun fight. But if you're giving me the 16-0 undefeated fighter against a guy making his UFC debut and the undefeated veteran of the promotion is plus 119 on Cloudbet, yeah, I gotta go Lerone Murphy. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, dude's making his debut against an undefeated Lerone Murphy who's looked great lately. I gotta take Lerone, but it's a good fight. It's a fun fight. Let me know what you guys think. It could go either way, and I'd love to hear from you. It is our main event of the evening, and this is your last reminder to like the video, and thank you so much for doing that. I do appreciate all of you. It does mean a lot, and it does help the video. Now, we have a banger of a main event here at 185 pounds. Drickus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. Both guys undefeated in the UFC. 2 losses for Drickus way back in the day. 5-0 in the last 5 for both of them, obviously. Guys, this is a fantastic fight. It's a man who has looked like one of the most dominant forces in MMA probably ever, but definitely in recent memory, versus a guy who we need to be asking ourselves, is he really just the main character? Is Drickus du Plessis just the main character of this story? And we all didn't realize it until just recently. Because this man just, every time you think, oh yeah, he's not going to be good enough to do this, he's super awkward, this, that, and the other, he just wins fights. It doesn't matter why, he just wins fights. So, great fight here. I know he's skilled, don't get me wrong. Drickus is very skilled. But when you look at it, it's not the most aesthetically pleasing at times. So, there's that. Let's break this down, you know, nuts and bolts style, and then we'll talk a little bit more about maybe some narratives, some things like that. For Khamzat Chimaev, Dude's a solid striker. He gets a lot of credit for his grappling, yes, but his striking is pretty solid as well. He's got a nasty jab and plenty of power. That jab sets up the 1-2, which goes right into the takedown most of the time. But if you don't really defend the 1-2 and you sell out for the takedown defense, that 1-2 will knock your lights out. He's got a nasty body kick. He moves pretty well on the feet, and he can fight out either stance. There's a lot to like about Khamzat in the striking. His grappling, though, it's likely the best in the UFC, especially when he's fresh. It's just incredible. His grappling is incredible. Just skill for skill in his grappling. If you give this guy 1 round, 5 minutes, and you have to out-grapple him, it's not happening. Dude's a strong grappler with amazing takedown defense, excellent takedowns. His timing, the fact that he chains his takedowns, he'll protect his neck on the way in. When he shoots these, he gets such a low shot and gets a hold of even your ankle and just rips you to the mat. There's nothing you can do about it. Got solid top control. He wraps up the legs, savage ground and pound, nasty front chokes, and very, very good scrambles. His grappling is fantastic. However, he's going against Drickus du Plessis, who is a solid striker as well. Dude's got really good forward pressure, tons of power, tons of volume. These are things you like. He strikes in flurries, and they're kind of weird, and sometimes they're like that type of thing when he's come. It looks strange as all get out, but it works for him, and it hurts when he lands. Like, the dude lands with some serious oomph when he hits. He finishes most of his fights. In fact, he's only gone to decision a handful of times in his entire career. He does have good combinations, even though at times they look weird. He's very durable as well, and super unorthodox, so it makes him super hard to prepare for. The guy's a darn good striker. He's a darn good grappler as well. He has really solid grappling, powerful takedowns, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets Chimaev to the mat just because Chimaev isn't expecting it. Like, I mean, who wants to grapple with Chimaev? Not many people. If Drickus goes out there and shoots a takedown, I could see, even with the takedown defense Chimaev has, he ain't ready for that and then gets taken down. I could see that happening. He got heavy ground and pound, good sweeps, and really good front chokes as well. There's a lot to like about Drickus, but I think the thing to like about him the most is the pace and the killer instinct. The dude always is going for a finish, and he's putting a super high pace on in these fights and just keeps coming. This is an extremely close fight. Like I said, Chimaev is one of the most skilled fighters in the UFC, skill for skill. And Drickus has more plot armor than anybody that you can find in the UFC. Defending champion. Defended his title, 3 times now? 4? 3? I think it's 3 times now. Golly, this is so tough. I've gone back and forth on this fight so many times, and realistically, to me, it comes down to this. If you're going to say the defending champion is a plus 179 underdog over on CloudBet, and he's got all the plot armor, he could potentially be the main character of this story arc, I gotta take Drickus, but I just don't really know. So we're going to take Drickus du Plessis to be the defending champion and still over in Chicago for UFC 319. But let me know what you guys think. Don't forget as well to tune in to the panel on Thursday. It'll be 9:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We also, Pick'em and I, will be doing the show on Wednesday for the PFL. So make sure you tune into those. Hopefully you enjoyed the Contender Series live stream if you watch that. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this, and I will catch you all down the road.